Still a little frosty this morning in South Dakota, but we are getting ready to head to Winnipeg eventually, but we need to stay somewhere tonight. So I found a little city park in the town of Towner, North Dakota. It's just a little park downtown with a playground and 4 RV sites with hookups. First come, first serve. Is free. I don't imagine it'll be full up tonight in late April. So we're gonna head there. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for coming along.
All right, here we are in Sturgis.
Motorcycle town.
Bet a bunch of these people have been to Madawaska, to the Four Corners.
Enchanted geese on the enchanted highway of giant sculptures in North Dakota.
Because what else might you look at? There's some trees here. It's a series of windbreaks.
Look, trees. Found them. Turn left here. Yeah, there's a sign down there for camping.
All right, there's welcome to Towner. Thank you for welcoming us.
As we've arrived,
There's some city park here somewhere on my side.
I see a sign down here that I saw on Google Maps.
There's something looking there.
But we're looking for electrical posts.
I'm gonna stop.
Oh, there's an RV over there on the other side.
All right, this looks like our spots. There's already a camper there, so I think we're just gonna pull. We could probably cross the grass there,
Yeah,
but
probably could,
but there's also a road we can go around the block and come in.
We made it to this little city park in Towner, North Dakota. Very small town here. Really nice little city park. They've got 4 sites with electric hookups, 30 amp. There's one other little trailer here, and it took us about 7.5 hours drive today. And we changed time zones because we went from mountain to central. So it is 7:20 central time right now. Sun's not going to set for another hour because we're so far west in North Dakota that we're really close to the line. So the sun sets really late here, which is great because we can set up in the daytime. And I think I did a great parking job here. I was able to back up the RV with our little backup knob, which I love using. I don't get to park it very often, but this was a good opportunity for me to do a wide turn and a 3-point turn in this park here. Good driving day. I think this is it. Good morning from Towner, North Dakota. Lovely evening in this little city park here. But we appear to be out of water. We brought about what we thought was about 20 gallons, 15 to 20 gallons in our fresh tank with us, just so we could have water to take a quick shower this morning, flush the toilet. But this morning it's completely run out, and it's a little bit weird because I don't know how we would have used 20 gallons already. Although maybe when we took showers yesterday morning before we left, we used more water than I thought. We washed dishes last night. We made dinner. So, but we're concerned that maybe there's something wrong with either the water pump or the lines, because lately when we've been on our fresh tank, if we've been off grid, Harvest Toast or whatever, the water in the toilet seems to be brown. Now, not every faucet, like the kitchen faucet, seems fine. Sometimes the bathroom faucet is a little bit, the water coming out of there is a little bit dirty. But it seems to be when the fresh tank is very, very low, that toilet water turns brown. And so there must be some kind of sediment in there. It's been sitting in Florida for months and months. I did bleach it and sanitize it when we arrived in Florida, but that was several months ago now. So we're not really sure what's going on. but it's so cold out. It's like 28 degrees out. We're heading north. So we don't want to like be outside diagnosing stuff. So we're just going to get over to our campground in Winnipeg today, hook up to city water, and then we can diagnose it at some point. But I guess we're going to get going a little bit faster than we planned this morning because no showers today. So now we're heading up to Manitoba, which means we'll have to cross the Canadian border. We figured while we were here in the central north part of the country that we wanted to collect some provinces. So we're going to do Manitoba and Saskatchewan over the next week. Originally, when we planned this trip, we had a very nice clean box. We were going to go over to western South Dakota, up to Saskatchewan, and over and down. But then we started playing with dates because we really wanted to spend Palm Sunday with Mike and Julie last week. Then we wanted to spend Easter up in Winnipeg with our friend Gavin, who is a pastor of a church up there. So all those dates kind of flowed to make, now we're doing this crisscross plan that's very inefficient, but it just worked out how we wanted it to.
Thank you, Towner. That was straightforward. They had us come in for that one. And all the basic questions, which we are well versed at. But they're always nice, the Canadian border crossings.
Especially the small ones.
Yeah.
Oh boy, we are at our campground north of Winnipeg, just about a half an hour northwest of the city, and we are in a very rural area here, surrounded by agricultural fields and driving down bumpy dirt roads to get here. It was quite an adventure. So when we got here, I forgot that they had told me it was a possibility that the water might be still shut off from the winter. It depended on the weather when we got here. And I forgot when we got here to ask. So we got over to our site. Luckily, we didn't get parked or set up or anything, but I tested the water and it was off.
Which you always do.
Which I usually do.
Usually.
So I walked up back to the office. I said, "Is there any water?" She said, "Oh, it's off for the season." And I said, "Well, is there any spigot where we can fill our fresh tank?" And she said, "Well, there's one on the back of the building, but you're not going to be able to park next to it. It's a little bit far away." And so I said, "Well, if we have a 100-foot hose, could we reach it?" She said, "Yeah, I think so." So she brought me out here. This is the back of the office. There's a little spigot right here. Luckily, we had already had out our 100-foot hose, which we used for the well on our land, and it reached all the way back here to the RV. So we're gonna fill up our fresh tank chock full because we're here for 5 days. And hopefully that'll be enough. Now, I mentioned earlier that we were potentially having a little water pump problem. We don't know what's going on with the brown water in the toilet.
Or it's the
knob,
the selector.
valve.
Yeah,
selector.
Something's a little off there, but it could have been every time we just had run the fresh tank, literally till it was almost out.
Even the water was too low.
One way or the other, we'll sort it. And of course, places like this, they have bathhouses, so
Yeah,
the
they
idea
do,
is
and they have
you just
showers
wouldn't
in
use
the
this. But
building.
since we can top off, we will anyways. And we probably won't use a bathhouse unless we feel like it, but we're good.
The other day when we had our fresh tank full, I think we were at a harvest host somewhere. The water was working fine. I think what happened yesterday was it just got so low that it
a couple times, each time we just ran it dry.
wasn't pumping it. Yeah.
We'll see.
All right, we're gonna see. We're happy to be here in Winnipeg for the next 5 days. Now, I did not expect that Winnipeg was such a big city. Jason has been here before on business, and like I said, we have a friend who's a pastor here that we're excited to spend some time with. But Winnipeg is a city of 800,000 people, which is really large, especially for rural Canada. But as we were driving in, I said, you know, even though the city is that big, it must be very contained because there's no little towns or villages out here around it. Well, I shouldn't say no. I mean, we're in a little village right now, but there's like no sprawl. There's no diminishing, you know, houses, businesses, towns. As you get out of the city, it's like, this is the city, and then that's the agricultural district, which I think is normal for rural Canada. So we're in southern Manitoba right now. Well, my hair is a little bit suffering today. It looks like this campground is mostly seasonal people and maybe some year-round people here too. It is chock full, but we must be one of the only transient people here because as soon as I walked in the office, she didn't even ask me my name. She said, "Here's your packet." So I was like, oh, we must be the only new people around here. Okay, so in the main office building here, and there's a nice little cafe and restaurant in here too. They do have shower and bathrooms for men and women in here. So we could potentially use this if we had to. I'm hoping not. I'm not a fan of having to go out of my RV to a shower. I know that's like regular camping practice for lots of people, but I have my house with me. I want to use my own bathroom. Honestly, we're just glad that there was a campground open in Winnipeg in late April because it was not a guarantee. When I scheduled or reserved these here and in Regina several months ago, and I called up here, they were like, could be 3 feet of snow, could be 60 degrees. Never know. You're gonna have to wait till you get up here. But they said you can come. We'll take the reservation. You're welcome to come. Well, it looks like maybe the low water level was our problem because this is a 70-gallon tank and we just put 70.8 gallons in it. So it was super chock empty. And when Jason tested our little outdoor shower here, it seemed to be working fine. So great. Shouldn't have any problem with the water this week. Now, my question is though, like, what are all these people doing for water? There's lots of rigs here, and I'm sure they're not all full because a lot of them are probably just parked here year round and then people come in the summer to use them. But there are people here camping or living in, there's some motel rooms here too. I don't know what they're doing. Well, it's been a little over 2 hours since we arrived at the campground. We're finally set up.
Well, it took like 40 minutes to fill the 17 gallons, I think.
Well, sure, it's all a rich tapestry. But thank goodness we didn't try to do this trip all in one day and stopped overnight last night, because RV life could say it's a 10-hour drive and then it's a 12-hour drive, and then you get to the campground and there's no water and you have to take an hour to go over there and figure out how you're gonna fill your water tank. So we've learned our lesson about planning trips that are too long. We used to say, like, we'll just power through. Well, in the beginning, like 5 years ago, we wouldn't go very far. We would stop overnight at a Harvest Host or whatever. And then after a while of that, we said, this is annoying to have to pull over and set up the RV for 12 hours and then get it in and drive again the next day. Let's just do really long drive days so we don't have to do this. But now we're back. Now we're back to, let's stop overnight. We know what we're doing now. We can do it quickly. And I said to Jason today, we've gotten better at choosing Harvest Hosts and Cracker Barrels and things like that are right off the highway. Because in the beginning, we would choose these Harvest Hosts that were like 20 miles off the route. And then you spend, a half an hour driving out there and then a half an hour back to the highway the next day. And it just wasted so much time. So now we stop at places that are on the highway. It's okay if they're noisy or, a brewery or whatever. We love it. So that's been our realization this year. Just your travel style is always evolving as you learn more, as you get better at RVing. Don't be afraid to switch it up. Just opening up the RV, and wow, is there a layer of dust on this floor. Those dirt roads we drove down, they were dry and dusty. Ugh, gross.
South Dakota, North Dakota, Manitoba. A lot of dust.
I know, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Look at.
Wait. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, it's even dustier than I first realized.
Like,
it's all over the furniture.
you can tell there's this looks like the tracks of a Maine Coon cat.
Yeah.
I think it was heading this direction. I think it's going that
Everything
direction.
in here needs to be washed.
I know we
Gross. Just mud streaks on everything. Look at this couch. Ugh. Just had a great visit to our friend's church for Easter morning here in Winnipeg, and now we're heading over to the Forks district for lunch. There is a Forks market here, which is kind of a historical meeting place here in Winnipeg. There's two rivers that meet here. This was a historic market. There's other children's museum and other museums in the area, so a really popular place down here in downtown Winnipeg. Of course, we're getting poutine for lunch, but this is very fancy smoked chicken, smoked Winnipeg chicken poutine. You know, I love a good Capitol building, so we came over to the Capitol of Manitoba building here in Winnipeg, but it's not open for tourists right now on a Sunday. But that's okay, because we're going to see if we can snag our Manitoba geocache here on the grounds. It may come as no surprise to you that the plains are very windy, both in the US and in Canada. It's hard to find somewhere to record without tons of wind. So the statue on top of the Capitol building is a gold statue of the god Mercury, and Mercury is a common symbol on top of official buildings all over the US and Canada, but this one here in Winnipeg they call the Golden Boy. Now I couldn't find the geocache. We'll keep going. We got a scenic loop drive that we're gonna do now, but first we're gonna stop at Bulk Barn. Come back next week for the rest of our trip in Manitoba. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.